Welcome to All About Albemarle, the segment where we talk about the things that matter to the people who live, work, and play in the city of Albemarle. I'm David Fath, the Communications Director for the city. And joining me today is our Director of Public Works, Ross Holzhauser. And Ross is here to talk with us about the city's garbage, recycling, and yard waste service. Let's start with a big change that has just taken effect, and that is a new number for customer service for garbage, recycling, and yard waste collection.
Correct. We have just entered into a new contract for our new year for the next 2 years of waste management, and some of the service that we're providing are going to be with waste management, but also with the city. And so with that, we felt it would be easier for our residents to have one generic phone number to call into the city for any trash, recycling, yard waste, or leaf complaints. That number's 704-984-9400. You'll get an automated service, and if you'll just press 3, that'll go straight to the solid waste collection stuff, and we'll be glad to take care of any issues that you may have.
Yeah, that's everything from miscollections to damaged garbage cans or recycling cans. Any kind of service needs,
That's
you can
right.
talk to a person when you call that phone number.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's do a little bit on some of the other changes that have taken effect. The city, as you mentioned, has sort of taken on some other responsibilities. Walk people through that.
So again, part of our new contract negotiations, one of the big things that we felt like that we could do an improvement in is yard waste, limbs, and leaf collection. So what we decided and what our council decided on is to let internal city services start those services. So now the city of Albemarle and its employees, and we have a staff now, we will be responsible for limb collection, yard waste collection, and then when loose leaf season comes around, we'll be providing the loose leaf season collection services as well.
Yeah, and some other things as well that City of Albemarle crews are handling would be things like white goods.
White goods, most people might not know what white goods are. Mm-hmm. They're household appliances, refrigerators, hot water heaters, washer and dryer, those type things. Those items are still going to be collected on the regular pickup day as well. That'll be provided by the city. And we also do the electronic collection, the curbside collection. We don't see as much of it now, but that's TVs, computers, monitors, those type things. We'll collect those as well.
Yeah.
Waste management will still provide the solid waste collection services, what we call MSW. That's the green cart, and also the recycling, the blue cart. They'll also do bulk collection too.
Gotcha. Let's walk through some of the things that are rules regarding collection services. You know, our crews see all kinds of things put at the curb, and I thought it might be a good idea for us to kind of run through some things that will help service. Specifically, let's start with garbage collection. What are some of the rules you want people to know about?
So first off, I would like to tell everybody that we will be monitoring this a little bit more now that we have our staff hands on deck riding around the city limits. Residents that do violate some of our ordinances that we probably haven't been the best at in the past, we will be hanging notices on different things. But some simple things is like your day of trash collection. Our policy says that the rollout carts should be rolled out at least by after 6 p.m. The day before collection, and the cart needs to be taken back to the house by 6 or 7 p.m. the day of collection. Other things would be the quantity of items that are put out for collection, bulky items specifically, no more than 4 cubic feet. And what I like to tell people, think of a pickup truck. Basically, the bed of a pickup truck is roughly 4 cubic feet, 6 feet by 6 feet, maybe 3 feet high, something like that. Mm-hmm. So bulk collection, volume is going to be one thing we'll be taking care of and looking at. With that and the amounts. Limb collection is another thing that we have a big issue with. Volumes of limbs, another thing. 4 cubic feet of limbs, that's 6 foot lengths, nothing any longer than that, and stacked neatly because it just helps collection. Couple other small items, make sure that your cans are spaced 3 feet apart for collection. Don't mix your different things, between bulky items, yard waste, limbs, those things need to be separated as well. And especially with yard waste collection, we don't want those items placed out close to a vehicle, close to power poles, or underneath low-hanging power lines.
Why is that? Can you explain?
And you'll see the city. We have purchased new boom trucks to come around, and those boom trucks they're high and they're tall, and then we use those to grapple down and grab and then put it in the back of the truck. So anything overhead, be conscientious about that. And it does take space for us to be able to collect those items.
Yeah, when you're describing boom trucks for people, there's an arm on that truck that reaches out, grabs the material on the curb,
and then loads it in the back.
Puts it in the back,
right.
Exactly. Just a kind of couple other things that you might see also. Just warning people not to put garbage that is bagged on top of their can.
Yes.
We don't want to have that either. That creates issues.
That is something it's uncollectible if you take an extra bag of trash and put it on top of your can. Waste management now, most people have seen, they have automated loaders, so they don't want trash put on top of the can. Just place it to the side and it'll still be collected. And that is another thing to remind people, all trash needs to be bagged, even when it's in your can. We do get complaints about collection services sometimes when the automated truck comes around and dumps the can. Trash is blown on the street. Well, a lot of the reason that responsibility falls on the resident, because if they're not bagging their trash and you've got styrofoam plates and paper cups and paper towels, that type stuff, if it's not collected in a bag, it'll blow out.
Yeah, so they ask you to have everything contained in there.
Yes.
And again, not on top. If you've got extra garbage, put it in a bag next to the cart.
That's right.
And keep those piles separated.
Correct.
A little bit too about some of the bulky item collection. You sort of touched on it a little bit. Again, there's some rules about when to put that out and how much you can put out. Can you kind of just refresh people on that?
So bulky items are the same as trash collection. Everything, the way we have our trash collection routes scheduled, a resident can put anything out at the curb on their day of trash collection, and it should be collected. That goes with bulky items. That would be furniture, mattresses, couches, those type things. We also have what they call C&D, construction and demolition debris. So if you are going to remodel your deck, or if you're doing some remodeling in your home and you have some drywall or some boards or lumber, those type things can be put out as well. Again, there's volume limits. 4 cubic yards is what we keep to our standard. But as long as you put those out on your day of collection, they should be collected.
Yeah, and just for context here, I mean, if you want to put that stuff out and you're over the limit, you can save what you've got left over, put it out the next week, and gradually get rid of it. Or if you want to do all in one trip, you're welcome to come and bring it to the landfill.
That's right.
It can be processed there.
And those are the things like I was talking about as far as we'll have some eyes on the street now. We'll be putting some notices down if people are in violation with over the limit volumes. So we're going to try to do some more education with our residents with that.
I want to briefly touch also on recycling. I don't know how much we see this, but just being clear, the blue cart is specific. It's got a purpose.
Blue cart is for recycling. The green cart is for trash. And waste management, they will not collect the blue cart if they see a blue cart that has trash in it. They consider that as contaminated. So if there's times that your blue cart is not collected, just make sure that you don't have trash mixed in with your recycling.
And I guess the last thing to touch on here would be some of the yard waste stuff. You mentioned the amount that can be put there, but there's one big thing that sometimes we'll see, which is we do not collect anything over 250 pounds.
Correct.
So if someone's chopping down a tree or they've got a big stump, what's the rules for that?
I mean, to us, it's a little bit taking advantage of a system if somebody cuts down a whole entire tree and puts it out at the curb. So we do have those limits. Yes, we cannot pick up a stump. We cannot pick up large tree bases and those type things. So our policy says anything over 250 pounds. We try to limit that. And again, the limbs itself, nothing any longer than 6 feet is the length that we would collect.
What about diameter for that?
Diameter, again, I mean, that'll vary as long as it doesn't cross over the weight limit, because there can be some limbs 6 inches, 8 inches in diameter. But if it's a 4 foot length, we could probably be able to get that. But we just don't want people to take advantage of the service that we're providing.
Gotcha. Last thing here to mention, you mentioned electronics as well. If somebody doesn't want to place something at the curb, they have to get rid of it right away, the landfill's a great option for that too.
We do tell people, there are uncollectible items, obviously. Bricks, rocks, gravel, dirt. Dirt is uncollectible. Cement blocks. Those type things are uncollectible because they do damage to our equipment. But yes, our option to tell those people, or if you've got a large volume of items that you're just ready to get rid of, the landfill is always available for them. Now it will cost. It is a per ton basis or per pound basis, but it's based on the ton. That's the alternative, is for them to be able to dispose of it themselves if they're not willing to go with our limits of volume at the curb.
Yeah, and timing. If they want to get rid of it right away, they can always do that. Ross, appreciate you taking us through the guidelines here. And of course, if you've got questions about these things, you can always go to www.albemarlenc.gov. We've got information on our Public Works website there.
Yep.
If you've got questions, again, we've got a new phone number for you to call for customer service related to garbage recycling and yard waste. That is 704-984-9400, and just press 3 and you'll get a hold of somebody in your office there.
Somebody with the city of Albemarle will be taking your phone call.
Very good. Ross, I appreciate your time, and that is going to do it for this week on All About Albemarle. Don't forget to follow the City of Albemarle on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. For Ross Holzhauser, I'm David Fath. Thanks for listening.